Dark of the Moon, Voyager class, Shockwave. Just buy this figure. If you see him, buy him. I picked this one up off of eBay because I couldn't find him anywhere else. And then, of course, as soon as he arrived, he was on Amazon.com for half what I paid for him. I don't care. This figure is great. There is so much character in this robot mode, I don't even know where to start. The detailing is phenomenal on this guy. He oozes the Bayformer aesthetic, but keeps with the original feeling of Shockwave. I mean, this Shockwave feels dangerous. Not a lot of the past Shockwave, Laser Wave from Energon, it was a little bit goofy. The original Shockwave, kind of a badass. This guy feels like a badass. As you can see, he is good old mono-eye Shockwave. Actually, his head kind of looks like an Invid from the Robotech. He does have light piping, which I will show you. It's got some good light piping there. I love the fact that his eye glows with the light piping. Poseability is very good. It's got a swivel joint up here high on the shoulder. It's got another swivel joint there at the upper arm. And then a hinge joint for a 90-degree bend. And then his hand can completely fold into his arm. And that's due to the transformation. Head is on a swivel joint. Legs, ratchet joint, in and out, swivel joint. 90 degrees on the leg. Feet don't really move because they're kind of just stuck in place. But it doesn't matter because you could get some really cool poses on this guy. I mean, you could get some really, really good poses. They kept the hose from the G1 figure, and the hose is actually attached to the mech tech weapon, which I will show you. And it attaches back here, or can attach to any mech tech port. It can also attach up here to the shoulder, can attach back in upon itself. Mech tech gimmick is completely detachable from the arm. And his little blade is detachable as well. So the base figure itself looks really cool anyway. So the mech tech gimmick is pretty cool, actually. So you've got the big gun, and then you push this gray piece in, and it folds out two cannons. Now, there's a little tab in here and a little tab on the gray thing. If you push the gray all the way in and hook it into place, you could fully deploy the mech tech weapons, or the cannons. And then you can just have that going like that, or have this pointing somewhere. I think the hose is the only part that bugs me, so you can actually fully detach it and just have the gun. So that is cool. I do like that. I do like the option of pulling the hose off, because the hose does get in the way in some cases. So there we go. So you can load this guy up with... I had fun with loading him up one point with a bunch of the Human Alliance in weapon mode. I just had him like holding two of the one Human Alliance and then the other Human Alliance like this, just kind of like, come on. But he is a very, very cool figure. Very, very cool robot mode. Transformation is interesting, and the transformation is pretty complex, I have to admit. The only issue I have in this mode has to do with the transformation, and that is if you're trying to move the head, this peg right here will unpeg a lot of the times. There's really nothing I can do about that. So, let's go ahead and get him transformed. We're going to start by turning his head a completely 180 degrees, and there's this gray panel. We'll flip that up, and by flipping that up, I mean we have to unpeg these two pieces and rotate them up and click into place. So it'll cover his head, and then we take this whole unit and move it back, fold it back off his back. That little hose point, just move it that way. Now, we're looking at the back of the figure, so we will take the front of the figure, his rib cage, and kind of pull it forward. That will unpeg it from his chest. That will allow us to fold up his chest and then rotate his chest out like that. And then that reveals two more holes which the pegs will peg into and hold together. For his arms, we'll actually just line up all the joints like that, fold the hands in, and then rotate the arms up and leave them rotated up like that, or actually just leave them out like that. Sorry, Now remember down here, we'll want to rotate this around 180 degrees. Take the feet and just completely fold them up, but first lower the kneecaps. So lower the kneecap, fold up the foot, and lock it into place. Take the heel spur and fold that into what was the bottom of the foot. This is where it gets a little weird. So we'll rotate it in like this, and then we'll take it and then collapse it down, and you kind of have to fiddle with it a little bit until it completely collapses in upon itself, and then you peg it in. So we'll do the same thing over here. We'll rotate the leg so that where the foot was pointing to the instep of the figure. Fold the leg up and then collapse it back in upon itself and just kind of work it till it's completely collapsed in there, and then peg it into place like that. And I didn't do that right. There we go. So now that that's collapsed down, we can rotate this up in. Now, I just screwed up, so what we'll do is just pull that apart, and those pegs on the inside will peg into that drum. And we can rotate that up and snap that into place. And then we can fold the arms up, and they will all snap into place. See that tab will actually snap into that section. Or, I'm sorry, back here. And then we'll take the MechTech weapon, and I prefer to put it on this arm. And we'll rotate that. Now, what you're supposed to do is fold that into here and peg it in to the little section there. That never works for me. So what I like to do is actually peg it in either over there, or peg it in right here, or you can peg it in back here on the side. So just peg it in somewhere, and then the sword can go here, it can go up here, it can go over here. Just put it right there. And here we have Shockwave's tank mode. And I have to admit, this is a really badass tank mode. It's asymmetrical, yes, but I like it. I just think it looks cool. And you can pop it off and, you know, look around and shoot Autobots as they drive by. I really like the tank mode. I think it is a little silly, not gonna lie, but I like it. It looks menacing. It just looks badass, I think. And things aren't quite lined up. Ah, there we go. So, he collapses nicely into a tank mode. And I really, really like this tank mode. My only complaint is the hose, again, no matter where you put it, it gets in the way, so you really can't deploy the MechTech gimmick unless you move the hose. But, no big. Issues in this mode. Not many. The only issue I really have is these arms come unhinged pop off out of place very easily. Just extremely easily. There's nothing I can really do about that. Oh well, not that big a deal. Any other issues in this mode? None whatsoever. This is a great figure. I think he looks wonderful in both modes. Picking him up, or finding him, is going to be a challenge. I'm not going to lie. He's all over eBay. He's on Amazon.com. He's a bunch of other places online. I have seen him in a store once. Since I already had him, I didn't bother picking him up. So it's gonna be hard to find this guy if you really, really want to get him. Now, that's speaking to my location, which is Baltimore, Maryland. I've only seen him once here. So good luck if you live in the Baltimore, Washington area. For other places in the country, though, I don't know. I would really check out whatever forum you belong to. I would really check out their sightings and see where it is. But, you know, if you can get him online, just buy him online. He's relatively the same price online as he is in the store. I paid more because I got him a little while ago. I got him off eBay and before he flooded eBay. So I paid more than I should have. It wasn't that much more, but I did pay more. But you know what? He is totally worth it. And I would pick him up soon, because as soon as the movie comes out, people are going to be scrambling for this figure, probably. If Shockwave is awesome in the movie, people are going to want him, I bet. So, like I said, get him if you can. If you can't get him in the store, get him online. Just get him. He really belongs in your collection. He's a great, great figure. And he is one of the, if not the best, from the Dark of the Movie line.